she a nympho. I wanna fuck, baby, let me get your info. Let me know what you wanna get yourself into. Yeah, I know that you got some daddy issues.
How's it going, nerds? My name is Linkwood, and in the last episode of Humanity Must Perish, we got called P-Lady. That's about it. Anyway, we're gonna get right back into it and see what happens next. Taking a few moments to question Allie about her parents, their financial status, and their peculiar decision to raise a child, I was soon left alone when the morning bell rang, signifying the start of school. Allie waved goodbye and ran toward the school, excited by the notion that this would be her last day, despite being completely uninformed as to the reason why this was the case. Rather than seek to engage any more students, I headed back to the city, located in an air-conditioned building open to the public. Upon entering the building, I disabled the fans, blowing heat out of my body, and allowed the air conditioning to cool me down instead. Doing so removed the faint humming noise from inside my body, making me appear even more human than before. The sample size may be small, but it would seem that it is difficult for humans to tell the difference between my current body and that of a real human being. Are all human beings so unobservant? If so, what chance will they have now that I've removed the most obvious giveaway? Observance is a skill required for the furthering of a race. If mankind cannot even differentiate between organic and inorganic materials, how can they be trusted to recognize the harm they do before it's too late? I must investigate further. I walked around the air-conditioned building, a so-called shopping center, aimlessly for a while. I covered every floor and entered numerous stores, speaking to many people as I did. No matter how many people I spoke to, however, not a single one of them realized that I was an android. They all spoke to me as though I was a regular human being. A couple commented that I should be at school, and one young male asked me for an excessively sweet fruit, a date, but not one of them taught me inhuman. How pathetic. These humans are all simple-minded fools. Do they all truly not notice, or do they simply not care? Either way, ignoring the truth is no way to advance as a society. These humans must learn to pay proper attention to their surroundings. The moment that thought ran through my head, I noticed the sound of a quickly approaching footsteps. I turned around to face the source of the sound, and the moment I did, Kya! A human girl ran straight into me. Ow, ow, ow. Oh! The girl quickly covered her skirt with her hands and gradually rose to her feet. She brushed off her clothing as she straightened her back, then turned to me with an apologetic expression. I'm so sorry. I was in a rush and I wasn't looking where I was going, so when you accidentally turned around, it's kinda... You should be more observant. Next time you might hurt someone, other than yourself. Well, you're right, I'm completely in the wrong. Please forgive me. No, it is not a matter of forgiveness. You are the injured party here, not me. You needn't apologize. But I did run into it if you weren't so sturdy. The high school girl suddenly drew very close. She ran her eyes down my body from head to toe as though judging a piece of meat. Happy, are you? The girl opened her eyes widened in surprise. Ah, so it happened at last. Finally, a human can tell by my sight that I am... Are you cosplaying as Geralt from my childhood friend is actually an android for the future? Another human who thinks I'm a cosplayer. I shook my head from side to side. Oh, really? The similarity is uncanny. Perfect uniform, of course. The girl proudly puffed out her chest, drawing particular attention to her bust. She smiled widely and took a step closer. Are you attempting to appeal to me sexually? What? No! Then why are you presenting your bosom? I'm not. Take a closer look. Very well. I moved my face closer to the girl's chest. After a few moments of analysis, I concluded that the girl was drawing attention to the emblem on her school uniform. As I was wearing the same uniform, the girl was apparently pointing out that her uniform differed from the Geralt-chan character. My apologies. I understand my mistake. It appears that I too must become more observant. However, raising my clock speed to an environment like this would not be safe. Rules of operation placed on my body exist for a reason. Yeah, no need to come up with excuses. We all make mistakes. Anyway, on to more important matters. You're here for the new DQ game too, aren't you? DQ. Hearing the unfamiliar acronym, I performed a quick search. My initial search of DQ turned up results pertaining mostly to Dairy Queen, a fast food restaurant. Assuming that this was not what the girl meant, I refined my search to DQ game. This resulted in an increased number of results, but still nothing definitive. Finally, I searched for new DQ game, and the very first result told me what I needed to know. Are you referring to the new Dragon Quest game? Of course, what else would I be by DQ? Rather than cite the numerous alternatives that turned up when I performed my search, I remained silent. Well, man, I gotta say, I'm surprised to see you here. I thought I was going to be the only girl lining up for the new DQ game. I never would have guessed someone as dedicated as you would be here. Dedicated? Are you referring to me? Do you see any other cosplayers lining up? Once again, I did not answer the strange girl's rhetorical question. You know, as surprised as I was to find you here, I really am glad. You don't get the kind of experience buying games online. If I had bought online, I never would have met you, and I would have never realized that there was a girl my age at my school who shares the same passion that I do. Yes, I understand the point you are making, but do you not find it troublesome and insufficient to visit a physical store? Purchasing digital media online makes more sense. Tisk, how naive you are, Miss Geraltod. My name is Q. Geraltod, if you had bought the new DQ game online, what do you think would happen a few days from now when you've completed the main story and all of the side quests? Like I said, my name is... Exactly, nothing would happen. But if you bought a physical disc instead, you could sell the game at full retail price to other gamers. Buy a new game, complete it quickly, and sell it when it's still valuable. Like so, you can play all the greatest games without losing a single dollar. I see. So while a physical sale may be insufficient, it makes more sense financially. Right. I mean, what kind of student has the money to buy every new game the second it comes out? The answer, smart students like this girl right here. The girl once again puffed out her chest. This time, she pointed at herself with both thumbs, smiling broadly and taking a confident stance full of pride. Understood. I accept your hypothesis of the sale of digital versus physical units of database products. You are smarter than you look. That's not something I hear very often. People usually see the glasses brains and assume I'm super smart. You won't believe how many times a random student have called me class rep. But once they see my grades, the girl suddenly averted her eyes as her mouth warped into a troubled smile. I see. So you are knowledgeable in some fields, but poor in others. That is nothing to be ashamed of. It is perfectly normal. I know, right? But my parents and teachers don't see it that way. They're just like, stop playing games and study. Or how do you expect to get into a good college if you just play games all day? Really, have they never heard of competitive gaming or beta testing? A pro gamer can make a living easily. That is true. As jobs involving manual labor have increasingly become automated, the economic impact of video games has only become more prominent. There is now more money to be made making, testing, or selling video games than there is in building homes. See, I knew you'd get it. I do indeed. So, does that mean you are a professional gamer? I wouldn't say that exactly. Understood. So you are a software developer specializing in video games. Not quite. You are neither a professional gamer nor a developer. In that case, are you perhaps an artist or a musician? You might also be a writer, I suppose. Or perhaps even... I'm just an ordinary player, okay? Well, as much as I'd like to make games of my own, I'm still just a high school student. I'm already behind on my studies. The only way I could find time to start making games as well would be to cut down to sleep. No, you could simply stop playing. Don't you dare finish that sentence. Sensing that the girl in front of me was becoming quite heated, I accepted her warning. We stood in silence for a few moments as she took a few deep breaths. I monitored her body temperature, breathing, and heart rate. Once I was satisfied that she calmed down, I spoke once more. So you said you were going to purchase the new DQ game. Alright, better get moving. Come on, we'll have to get there before they sell out. No sooner did she calmed down, the girl excitedly raised her voice once more. She grabbed me by the hand and led me towards the video game store, seemingly arrogant of my inhuman weight. We entered the store together, located the new game, and made 2 purchases. He was a cutie, not gonna lie. Having parted with my DQ buddy, I wandered around the city for a few more hours as the sun began to set. The number of human beings, both on foot and in cars, continued to decrease, and by the time the sun had fully set, almost nobody remained on the street. Midnight approached rapidly, leaving me with the only short amount of time to make further contact before heading back to the lab. Even if I search proactively, I won't find any human beings willing to talk to a complete stranger this time of night. This is time for criminals and insomniacs, and while including such people in my findings would lead to more diverse data, the likelihood of finding someone willing to share is low. Nonetheless, I have to at least try. The day cannot fully be considered over until midnight. Until tomorrow begins, I must continue my research. Less than half an hour remained before the data would change. In that span of time, I didn't believe that I would come across anyone willing to speak with me. However, given the time, my appearance, and basic human nature, I should have known this was not the case. Oi, girl, you over there? And we'll see what he has to say in the next episode. So have a great day, beautiful land. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike this video, still give it a like. Pockable every Tuesday, you know the drill. And I'll speak with you all again soon. Roll the outro.
There'll be girls across the nation that'll eat this up. Babe, I know that it's your soul, but could you bottle it up? Get down to the heart of it. No, it's my heart. Your shit out of your love. Don't make me tell you again. Woo! Love, love, love. Hey. Love, 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 love. I'm doing love. Love, love, love.
it for the love, yes I do. So you don't care about the money, well yes it's true. And I'm so blessed to be fulfilling my destiny. All material things could mean less to me. Only thing I ever could need is a Sarah B sample with a dope ass beat. And get the mic check, all the levels right. And if it's good then I'll be here for several nights. Cause the only thing I need is a strong supporting team.